Hello, and welcome everyone to Get Your Goddess Groove on Radio with me, your host, Laura Hosford. So, how are you today? I hope you, wherever you are in the world, are doing well and actually more than surviving and actually beginning to thrive in new ways. And first, I want to start out today's show with thanking you all for joining me on this show. Today will be my last show for a few months, and I hope to return back to the Transformation Talk Radio group after the first of next year. But they have been a wonderful, supportive group, and I wanted to thank them today for all their support and guidance. And it's been really fun to do these shows. So thank you. And thank you to my listeners, for everyone who is here today live or hears the replay for coming and listening and sharing your love and supporting me during this radio show. So now I'll just invite you to today to begin to wherever you are. If you're not driving and if you're in place, to begin by just relaxing and just perhaps gifting yourself with this time to perhaps just to breathe a little deeper, maybe just to pause a little bit more. Today is Friday. I love the energy of Fridays, always one of my favorite days of the week, where, it's the end of the work week. We're looking forward to the weekend, and we can begin to really kind of, check in with ourselves, and we can begin to really maybe begin to pause and take some time for, just checking in on how are you doing today, with life, and where are you at with life today, and where is it with you, perhaps. And so today I just wanted to talk a little bit about know thyself, in our journey to return to love. And in my own life, this seems to be, I'm sort of a big picture person. I've always done that. I've always asked a lot of questions from life. And maybe sometimes I've even, demanded from life a little bit more. And I think that's okay, because I think that's all part of the journey to really beginning to know ourselves and knowing more deeply about, well, who am I? Why am I in this body? Why am I in this country? Why am I living at this time? Kind of all those deeper questions that we all ask, I think, from time to time. Why am I in this world? What is really true? What is not true for me? All of these deeper questions that we can take a deeper dive into, beginning to really explore, the invitation of, beginning to answer those questions, beginning to solve some of the mysteries that I feel that we're all part of, this bigger, beautiful mystery of life, right? And so today I just wanted to start out talking a little bit about the big picture, and in working with my own higher guides, my own higher self. And this past week, because I'm constantly tuning in to my guidance as best I can, I'm constantly working on myself to stay out of just the head space, if you will, which is where a lot of us have been trained and conditioned to live for many thousands of years now. And excuse me. And I really have been on this journey to really begin to deepen into my own heart space, and even began this journey a couple years ago of deepening into my own womb space, and to really deepen more into my physical presence in my body. And it's been a wonderful journey. And what it's brought me to is so many new revelations, right? So many new questions, even. Because as we begin to explore those kind of outer edges of where our comfort zone is, and it can be a little scary, right? We're all human, and we all have these beautiful bodies that need food, we need fresh air, we need water, we need to take care of ourselves in that way. And it can be a little scary, it can be daunting for sure. And then facing our fears. And so the message that came through this past week that I thought was really cool and really inspirational for me, that my own guide shared with me, is that what's going on right now, right, is, in particular, the last 6 months, when basically the beginning of March, and we heard about the news of the COVID, that it seemed like the whole world was brought to its knees, right? I mean, when, certainly not in my lifetime, I don't know about your lifetime, but when has the world been literally almost brought to a stop and put on pause? And this affected every country, everywhere in the world, every nationality. And, you know, it was like a call, right? A call to, from my perception in my belief system, to go deeper, to begin to really start this journey of questioning, and to begin to really maybe wake up a little bit more about, well, how is my life going? Am I really happy with my life? Am I really thriving in my life? What is important to me? All of these deeper questions that we have. And the guidance that came to me was that everything in our external world that we're witnessing now, that we're all witnessing, that we're all seeing, is the best that we can through our own perception, is the dissolving of that world right before our eyes. I mean, literally right before us, we see the dissolving of, healthcare structures, educational structures, religion, politics. Our financial system is, wavering back and forth. Um, we've seen businesses, like the airlines, almost go under or be, greatly impacted. Um, we've seen, all of these just sudden, changes come in. Um, and so the guidance was that the dissolving of what I call the third dimensional world, which is the world that we have been living in on this particular earth plane now for thousands of years, was all very much on purpose. It was all very much of a bigger divine plan that is going on way beyond even this earth plane, way beyond politics, way beyond governments or religion or all of the kind of, day-to-day things that we see on the news or we see on YouTube or we're talking about. And that this very much, this beautiful bigger picture and divine plan, when I say divine plan, I'm talking about, the one source of life, where we all came from, where I believe we all came from, and we are all connected together through this one source of life, whether you're a human or you're an animal or you're a plant or a mineral or this Mother Earth is a living, breathing being. Um, and so all of organic life, and that it's all very much to redirect us to come back and to begin a deeper journey of looking for love, and looking for love within ourselves first, and knowing that we were birthed from love. We were birthed from a magnificent, benevolent energy that is not even something that really we have words for, I don't think, in this human journey. That we are even maybe starting to understand this love, but this love is beginning to call us home, to call us back to go deeper and to go beyond this physical reality. And how do we do that? We do that through the deep inquiry, beginning to journey inwards and know thyself. Know thyself was written on the temple at Delphi in Greece. And so all the initiates, that went to Delphi and studied at Delphi, they would see that when they walked in. And that was the call. That was the call to begin this journey, to really begin to question reality, right? To question your reality and your perception of reality, is this perception of reality true? Is this perception of reality, you know, how am I living inside of this perception of reality? Is it really serving me? Am I living in love or am I living in fear? Because we can't really be both. We have to choose now. And this is also part of the bigger part of this message is that we can't really sit on the fence anymore. We're really being called to take a stand, to choose either the world of the third dimension, which is based in the foundation of fear and separation, duality, right, wrong, all of these different perspectives. It's based in the energies of the denser energy realm, based in fear. Or are we going to choose to step into the new world of the fifth dimensional space, that of unity consciousness, which is of divine love? And so there is a timeline split that is now happening, and there's no more sitting on the fence. We all have to choose for ourselves which path we are now going to walk. And so it's a really big question that each of us and only each of us can answer, and only each of us can know ourselves, I think, to really be able to make that choice for us. And there is no right or wrong choice. It's simply a choice that is presenting itself now to you, I believe, and calling us deeper as we are called home to really begin to understand ourselves in a more deeper level. So I'm going to leave you with that for a moment. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. So welcome back, everyone. And I also wanted to invite you to call in today with any questions or comments that you might have. Would love to have that today with you. So one of my dear guides is Mary Magdalene, and she began to work with me a few years ago. And I love working with her because she has been such a beautiful guide, such a wise guide for me in my life. And I know many others, perhaps your life. And one of the things that she shared with me that really brought me into this deeper place of really looking for love, doing a deeper inquiry, and sitting with myself and really asking, about love. Because for many years in my own life, um, I was on a search for love, and I was especially on a search for peace, to find inner peace and to really harness that inner peace within that we talk about, that Master Yeshua or Jesus talked about many 2,000 years ago. Because for most of my life, honestly, I didn't have peace. I was living in chaos inside of my own being. And it started very early in my own family, in my childhood. And I was raised here in the southeast part of the United States. I was very much raised in where we're very steeped into religion. And I love going to church. And I remember walking home from church one day because we lived very close, and I was around 13, and I would ask God at that time, why do I go to church? And then why is it that I come home and we talk about love and peace and unity at church, but yet when I come home, I don't find that. And that really, I think, began my own inquiry many, many years ago on this path. And I'm so grateful for the experience that religion gave me, because it was a birthing place for me to begin those deeper inquiry and those deeper questions. And I always loved the music. I always knew there was something more. And I think that, what Mary Magdalene shared with me is she shared that love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. So I want to read that to you again. Love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. And that really runs deep, because it really, I think, is an invitation for each of us to not only look at our own life, our own family, our own friends, our own community, um, our church, a project, whatever, wherever we are. And it really is an invitation to go deeper, to really find that love, that deeper love, the love of the mother, I call it. The love of the mother that perhaps some of us may feel we don't have in our life, or we've lost connection to, or perhaps you have even felt abandoned by your mother. And so I really love this because I use this in my inquiry a lot to keep asking the question, keep showing me love in this situation. Perhaps I don't understand everything about the situation that's happening, right? I know that, for a long time, and I still inquire about, well, why was my childhood so difficult? I was raised in a home that was very turbulent, chaotic. There was a lot of fear, a lot of disrespect. Um, there was a lot of verbal and emotional and even some physical abuse going on. It was difficult to understand that for many years. However, I came to understand that we all have these journeys for a higher purpose and reason. And it was an invitation to go deeper within myself, to begin to take new actions, or to see things in new ways, to find the love that was beneath it all. And, really, this is the promise that I believe that Divine Mother, who is the creatrix of all life, in my belief system and what I understand and what I know, is that all of life was birthed not from the Father, but was birthed from Divine Mother. And it is through her that the energies of creation move forth from the cosmic egg, if you call it, or from the portal of creation, and they are birthed into form, which would be planets and stars and all, all that we see that that comes into form. And so the deeper dive here, the invitation to go deeper, to begin to see through, even what we're seeing today, to begin to even question what's happening, to question all of this violence, to question, the wars we've been through, to question the suppression of the feminine voice, to question, why are people starving? I mean, why do we have almost half the planet still living, with hardly a roof over their head, or clean water or food? Why is that still going on? And to really begin to do that deeper inquiry, to find that deeper answer for us. And as we do that deeper inquiry, to begin to start our own journey back to love. And I really believe that's the call. That's the call that's happening right now, that everything that's happening in our world is inviting us to, we talk about seeing through the illusion of separateness, because we're truly not separate from each other. We truly are all connected. Even the earth, even the stars, even all the multiverses are connected, because we're all part of this one source of life. You can't not be disconnected from the source. And even though there are those who are choosing to harm other people, right? We've been hearing about, all of the truth that's rising up and coming up to the surface. And some of this is very, very hard for us, I understand. It's very heartbreaking. It's very hard to listen to. It's very hard to not go into denial about it. But all of these things have been happening for thousands of years on the planet. And that's what we're waking up to, this truth of, from everything from the sexual slavery of children and women to the slavery of mankind, of being, having to work, to, it's working to just have food, to have a roof over your head, to have healthcare. Why is that? Why would not every single human being on this planet have the right to have those things, right? And I know these are questions that are going really deep, and we ask these questions perhaps, every single day. But I think the call now, the deeper call, is to begin to awaken ourselves to a deeper level of saying, you know, what can I do about it? You know, what can I do to help to bring love to this planet? What different actions can I take in my own life to begin to nurture love within myself, to nurture more kindness within myself and for myself? Because it really always starts with ourselves. That's where the journey starts. Is we begin to, maybe we go through a dark night of the soul. And I certainly believe that today, this COVID-19 is a dark night of the soul for humanity. You can call it initiation, you can call it a rebirthing process to the new world, but it's certainly, rattling us and shaking us. It's almost like that, like, to really wake up and to see beyond the illusion, and begin to see that there's a deeper connection here with all beings, even those that, have done some pretty horrible things, but they all are still part of the source of life. They still have a spark of life within them. Maybe they've forgotten that. Maybe they're so wounded. Maybe they're so hurt. Maybe they lost their way and they've forgotten that they also came from the divine source of love, and they've forgotten that. And so, are we going to be able to move beyond this kind of human definition of love and maybe invite us into begin to be the channels of the divine mother? And I certainly feel as women, we are being called first to do that, to begin to be the containers of divine feminine love, which is unconditional love, to be completely neutral and to hold that in our hearts of compassion with neutrality. And neutrality means we're not choosing sides. Neutrality means that we are able to hold, just like the divine mother father does for every part of life, without judgment. It just loves life as it is. Can we be those containers and vehicles for love now? And I really do believe that we are being called to be that now, that we're ready to awaken to this. And this is our call to the fifth dimension, to move into that unified space where everything just is in its own perfection, but remembering its source and respecting itself enough that it can be in love, and it can release all the fear, because there is no fear in the fifth dimensional space, the unified space. And I believe that's the call that each of us have to awaken to. And it's so important that we do. And that's the call from Divine Mother. And will we hear and heed that call? And what will we do with that, beloved? So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. So welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining me today on the Get Your Goddess Groove On show. So we're talking about the return to love, and what has been shown to me is that right now, in this very precious year of 2020, and I don't know anybody that I know of that was able to predict this year and all the the events that would happen. I don't know that it was foreseen, but my sense is that it really wasn't, because I really believe that what's happening on the earth is not only happening for the earth and for us to return to love and to begin to awaken to the love that we truly are, and the unity that we are all deeply unified together, whether we realize it or not. But that this whole beautiful return to love is also gracing the entire universe, the multiverse. All of reality is shifting, and it goes way beyond even what's happening here on the planet. And so it has been what has been foreseen for many thousands of years by many mystics and different, people all around the world, is that we would come to this point, and we do come to this point every 26,000 years, where there is an opening, and we're going through that opening now. I think we're a little bit more than midway of moving. The Earth is moving through the galactic core, which gives us this opportunity for to shift our consciousness, to shift the vibration of the Earth. We talk about this, and so we can then begin to open into this great love that's always there, whether or not we've been able to connect with it or how we've been able to foresee it. And so I know right now there's a lot of people, a lot of us who may be feeling confused, who may be feeling a lot of anger, a lot of fear, a lot of maybe loneliness or disconnection, or, really wondering what is really going on here, right? And in a lot of emotional pain. I feel like there's a lot of emotional pain right now that's rising to the surface, because the bottom of the pot, if you will, right? The very depths of our subconscious, our own subconscious and the subconscious of humanity, has been stirred up, right? And we see this, we see all around, we see things happening on the earth, because we're all contributing to what I call the womb of the world, the collective womb of the world. Well, what is that? The collective womb of the world is all of our thoughts that we actually give energy to. We have lots of thoughts. We talk about this, but it's the thoughts that we act on. It's the thoughts that we give energy to. It's the beliefs that we continue to take action on every day. It's the words that we speak. It's the intentions that we carry. It's the actions that we take. And so every single person on this planet, whether they're conscious of it or not, we're all contributing to the creation of this world right now as we see it. And so as we look at that, and even through the pain, even through our own pain, pain is a wake-up call. Pain is trying to nudge us into seeing a new perspective, trying to see us from the perspective of love, to see through the pain and to maybe embrace the pain, which has information. And also it nudges us to really examine that perspective, right, in our belief system, to say, is that really true? And just like what I shared with you, what Mary Magdalene shared with me, to a call to love ourselves more. And if you're in a lot of emotional pain and confusion today and anger today, I'm sorry that you're there in that place. I'm really sorry for your pain. I can understand your pain, because for myself, I was in that place for many, many years, especially emotional pain and feeling like I was on the roller coaster, right? However, beneath it all, I knew there was this deeper truth we're talking about today. I knew underneath it all that my being, my spirit, my soul, whatever you call it, was made from pure love, just like yours. And that the bigger truth is that we can return to that love if we so choose. And that the pain was just a wake-up call. It was just a wake-up call to begin to go deeper and to explore into how can I love myself more? How can I respect myself more? What new choices can I make? What new actions can I take? And how can I see beyond this illusion to begin to find that deeper part of me, that complete part of me? We talk about our divine soul blueprint that each of us has, that when, as the scientists tell us, the universe started with the big bang. And what happened was that, not that we can completely understand it, but this Big Bang happened many millions of billions of years ago, and that there was this like explosion and everything went out, right? Sparks of light. And these sparks of light created the planets, the stars, created us. We were individual sparks of light, stars. But, it was interesting because when we came out and we created the universe, some of us went into a different states of consciousness. And, whereas some of us may have been in, the 12th, the 11th, the 10th, the 9th, the 7th, 6th, 5, 4, wherever we landed is where our consciousness began. And this is kind of a new realization I started to really understand, that as I began to probe into the deeper why of why some individuals on this planet are not choosing love, or still not choosing love, and why they aren't choosing love. Why are they continuing to choose to harm themselves? Because in order to harm another person, you're harming yourself first, right? If you're every choice and every belief and every perception is coming from how we feel about ourselves first, right? So if I'm choosing, to harm another person or life, then that means I'm in this perception of not loving my own self, of hating myself, of being in hate and fear in those vibrations. And then I'm acting on those choices through that perception of not understanding who I really am, and maybe having lost contact with who I really am. But what was interesting to me was that what I didn't see before, and I've taught Akashic Records for many years, is that I'm starting to understand with this deeper truth coming up and this deeper inquiry about, well, why are these individuals choosing to harm other people? Like, where is that coming from? Because that's not something I really understand, because, I can't get my head around that. But I want to understand that, because if I want to go and I want to shift into unity consciousness, and I'm choosing that, and I want to shift back into the divine frequency of love, then I have to become like the creator. I have to begin to come back into wholeness, and I have to vibrate with my whole blueprint. Okay. My whole divine human, my divinity within me. I have to align with that divinity, as we call it. We have to align with that divinity, and I have to bring that divinity not just to my head and not just to my heart, but I have to bring it to my body, right? Because I'm an embodied human. So I have to be that. I have to be that vibration and be in alignment with that vibration 100%. And I have to release 100% of fear, which may seem daunting, but that is the journey. And as I look at that, and I look at the narcissism and the gaslighting, because in my own family, my mother, she's a narcissist. But I look on that not with judgment. I'm not looking at it through the eyes of judgment. I'm looking at it as questioning now, can I hold enough love within me and enough neutrality to just hold her in a space of compassion and love and go deeper? That's the call. And I believe we're all being called to do that. And I believe that return of the divine feminine, and as women, we are the daughters of Sophia goddess, Sophia divine mother. We are the embodiment of her. And when we can vibrate with that frequency, and we can flow that divine frequency of unconditional love and hold it in our womb space, because our womb space is the creative portal through which everything is created that we see here in the outer reality. And men, you have a womb too. You don't birth babies, but you still have a creative portal, a womb. And so when I can become more conscious, and can I begin to understand that I am the vehicle for love? and that the Divine Mother is calling me back to love. And can I be that? Can I embrace that? For not just people that I agree with, or not just people who I feel are serving others, or however, not just because I'm Republican or Democrat, or not just because I'm black or white or whatever. No, can I hold this space of peace and compassion inside of me so that now I can lend my energy and my creative portal and everything that I'm creating to create this new world, this new golden age that we're birthing? And can I even hold a space of compassion, even though I don't understand it, for all organic beings of life, even if they're lost, even if they're choosing to harm others, as horrible as it is? I believe that, yes, I'm being called to do that, because even, you know, I don't know how it started. I just know it's been going on for millions of years. And I know that there will be a resolution. I know that every single human, every single spark of life throughout the multiverse, the universe, has a spark of life, whether they realize it or not. And I know that's true. And I know that there's always a path of reconciliation for that spark of light if and when they choose it, because this is a universe of divine love. This is a universe of total reconciliation, that we are called back to the light and love, and that everyone and everything, and even Jesus talked about this 2,000 years ago, that he came here in this world. He came here, as many other avatars have, to show us the way home, to show us that we have not been forgotten and we're not lost forever, and that we can begin this journey when we are ready and willing to do so. So stay with me. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Thank you. Hello, and welcome back, everyone. So we have been talking about today just bringing through the concept of divine love, and what does that mean to you? And so we've been talking about, when are we going to choose love? First and foremost, for yourself. Choose it for yourself. And as you choose it for yourself, whether it's just taking one step, and that's all that you really need to do, you just be willing to take that one step, and beginning to just appreciate who you are. Begin to see yourself with new eyes and a new perspective of the way that Divine Mother and Divine Father, all that is, your universe, whatever your word is, begin to really invite that deeper dive, that deeper connection, that you are a divine being, that you are beautiful, that you are the most exquisite energy. And that as you begin to just take that first step to begin to, and you don't have to know how, you just set that intention and make it your prayer, make it your attention, whatever works best for you. And I really do believe that is the call, the wake up call that we're being invited to today, as we've been talking about, is, what is humanity going to do? What are we going to do today? Are we going to continue on the path of destruction, of destroying ourselves? Because literally, as we look around and we see what has happened to our world, with war and poverty and so many imbalances that have been created. And it isn't about blame. It's not about blame at all. It's just about waking up and embracing the love within us that we all carry. We all carry the love of the mother within us. Now, maybe we've forgotten it. Maybe we feel abandoned. Maybe we feel, rejected by the mother's love. Maybe we feel a lot of pain around that. I I am not walking in your shoes. I can only speak to you through my own experience, but I certainly felt that in my life. And now I am so gosh, just grateful and blessed and happy that I said yes to the journey. And my journey started with a big bang, a big cracking open of my left brain. It wasn't fun. It wasn't easy. Of course there were difficult moments, but I knew inside of me that this great love was there. It was always there. I knew that. I didn't know how, I didn't know all the details as I walked every step forward. And that was in 2008. And here I am today with more love, more peace, more joy, more presence, more compassion than I've ever had in my life. And that's what speaks the truth to me, because it's the experience. We can all help each other, right? We have all these beautiful masters that we were talking about who've come to the earth: Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, Buddha, many more, to show us the way home, to show us back to ourselves, and that we came from love and we can return to love and to light. And it's always there for us and always our choice when we're ready. But we each have to choose. We each have to choose when we're ready. And there's no judgment. However, at the same time, I do believe that this is a great wake-up call for humanity of what are we going to do? Are we going to choose love, or are we going to choose to continue forward in this path of destruction, of living out from fear, living in the lower vibration of fear and separation, and not caring for one another, not making sure that everyone has food, the basic needs, where some have, some people have billions of dollars and other people have hardly anything. It's a huge imbalance. It's a huge polarity. And, the destruction of Mother Earth herself. And in nature, because if we're going to live on this planet and we have been gifted these beautiful body devas to be here, to have this beautiful experience. I mean, this is the Garden of Eden. It once was. And so now we can return to that too. We can bring it back, but we have to first bring it and find it and discover it within ourselves. And then we can begin to create it again. And so the call of the divine feminine, and I do believe as women that we are being called, as I talked about, to be the love for Divine Mother, to be it in the body, in the spirit, in our heart. And as we do that, as we anchor more love on the planet, literally through our hearts, our minds, and our bodies, and our wombs, then we can anchor in this new divine feminine energy, which help to counterbalance the distorted energy of the masculine, of the left brain. Because that is really, when we look at it from a very neutral state, because it's not about blame, but it's about, we have been living for the last 7,000 years in our left brain only. We have discarded the mother and the feminine, which is the right brain, which is our connection to the infinite, to the cosmic love connection. It's time to bring that back. It's time to remember and to wake up to who we are, so we can begin to find the solutions to solving all the problems that are there, that are waiting to come in, so that we can all begin to live a life of harmony and peace and truth and love again, with respect and kindness for everyone, including those who feel lost and confused, those who are full of hate. Yes, they can be reconciled. I truly believe that. And I know that in my heart. But we have to begin to choose it today. And I do believe that is the call before us now, in our own unique and special way, right? because we've got to wake up, and it is a serious matter. We've got to wake up to what's happening. And, again, I don't think we can be in denial anymore. It's maybe a truth bomb for you. It was certainly a truth bomb for me. And as I said, it's not been easy, but I know that the right path for me, and I can only speak for me, is to choose love for everyone, and for everyone to have love and to find love and peace and to have all their needs met, including respect. So I wanted to share with you before we close today, just share with you a channeling that came through Mary Magdalene when I was in the south of France last year. And she shared this beautiful message of love I'd like to share with you. And so I'll just invite you to close your eyes for a moment and bring your hand to your heart if you'd like or not. And what she shared with us on our beautiful retreat last year was allow your vessel to be filled with light. Fill your chalice till it overflows with love. Bring your attention and fill your body with light. Now opening your third eye, your pineal, to see the truth, to begin to see the truth, beloved. And she asked us, what is true for you? Go deeper beyond the words into our bodies, our body temple. Go to the inner planes. The inner planes are within you. Take this cup and drink from the cup of life, the life of the mother, all that is. Drink from the never-ending wellspring of life and love inside of you. She said it's inside of you, in the front of your being. You are the tree of life. It's never ending. This wellspring of love, unconditional love and light is always within you. And you are like a tree deeply rooted into the earth, but also in the heart of heaven. You exist in both. And to begin to see yourself, to connect with the Divine Mother, to invite the Divine Mother energy of unconditional love from above and below, from the cosmos and from Mother Earth below. You're always connected. And she invited us to ask, where's our focus right now? Are we focused on the things of the earth, of the material world, the things that perish, the things that diminish and go away? Or are we focused on the things that are true, that are always there, our heart, and that we are eternal beings of love and light, and that we are always loved? And she invited us to return, to come home to the source of all life, the Mother, and to drink deeply of this well of love, and to drink deeply, and to drink more of you. You are a divine being of love and light. And to remember this truth, because I feel like that we have forgotten who we are, and it's a time to return to our spiritual home as beings of love and light. We have to reconnect to that spiritual home in order to heal ourselves and the world. So I'm going to leave you with that, everyone. Thank you again so much for joining me today on the Get Your Goddess Groove On. Thank you for your support and your loyalty. And if this is your first time or every time, thank you so much. Sending you lots of love and blessings wherever you are on the world. And if you'd like to learn more, I would invite you to go to my website at laurahosford.com and join our new community, the Get Your Goddess Groove On community. We'd love to have you. Thank you and namaste. Bye-bye until we meet again.